There was once a person. Maybe it's someone you know. Maybe it's someone sitting next to you. Or maybe it's you. Every morning the alarm would ring, and every morning the same battle would begin. 5 more minutes. Tomorrow will be different. I'll start next week. Days turned into weeks. Weeks turned into months. And slowly, life kept moving forward. But that person stayed exactly where they were. Their body became heavier. Their energy became lower. Their confidence slowly disappeared. They stopped taking pictures, stopped looking in mirrors, stopped believing that change was possible at night. They would scroll endlessly through social media, watching other people transform, watching other people become stronger, healthier, happier. And deep inside, a painful question would appear. Why can't I become like them? But the truth was, those people were not special. They were not born with more motivation. They simply made one decision. They decided to begin. Because the hardest part of every transformation is not losing weight. It is not waking up early. It is not exercising. The hardest part is day one, the moment when you stop dreaming and start acting. One evening, after another long and exhausting day, that person looked at themselves in the mirror. Their eyes looked tired. Their shoulders looked heavy. And for the first time, they were honest with themselves. They realized something terrifying. Nothing was going to change. No magical Monday. No perfect motivation, no sudden inspiration. If they continued living this way, 1 year later, they would still be standing in the same place. And that thought hurt, because deep inside they knew they were meant for more. They remembered the energetic person they once were, the dreams they once had, the confidence they once felt, and tears almost came to their eyes, because they realized the person destroying their future was not anyone else. It was the small choices they made every single day. The excuses, the procrastination, the comfort. That night, they made a promise, not to become perfect, not to completely change overnight. Just one promise: I will start. The next morning the alarm rang again. For a moment, nothing happened. The bed felt comfortable. The room felt warm. Their mind whispered, sleep a little longer. But this time, something was different. Slowly, they sat up, opened the curtains, and sunlight entered the room. It was such a small moment. Yet somehow, it felt powerful, because for the first time in a very long time they had won the first battle. They walked into the kitchen, poured themselves a glass of water, and as they drank it, it felt like they were waking up not only their body, but also their soul. Later, they went outside. The morning air touched their face, birds were singing, the world looked peaceful, and they started walking. Just walking. No fancy workout, no impossible routine. Just one step, then another, and another. Their body felt weak, their breathing felt heavy, but something inside them felt alive again. Hope. For the first time in months, they could actually imagine a different future, a healthier future, a stronger future, a happier future. That day they ate a little better, moved a little more, spent less time on their phone, and when the evening arrived, they felt something they hadn't felt in a long time. Pride. Not because they had transformed, not because they looked different, but because they finally kept a promise to themselves. And that changed everything. Because confidence is not built when people praise you. Confidence is built when you prove to yourself that you can trust yourself. Days passed, then weeks. There were difficult mornings. There were moments when they wanted to quit. Some days they failed. Some days they made mistakes. But this time, they did not give up, because they finally understood something important. Transformation does not happen in one big moment. It happens in thousands of tiny decisions. Every glass of water, every early morning, every walk, every walkout, every time you choose discipline instead of comfort, you become a different person. Months later, the mirror showed someone new, not just physically, but mentally. The eyes looked brighter, the smile looked genuine, the shoulders stood taller, and the most beautiful part was not the new body, it was the new belief. The belief that change is possible, the belief that they are stronger than their excuses, the belief that they can create a better life. And it all began with one ordinary morning, one decision, one day, one. Right now, somewhere in the future, there is another version of you, healthier, stronger, full of energy, full of confidence. That version of you is waiting, waiting for you to begin. Because 1 year from now, you will arrive in the future, no matter what. The only question is, who will you become before you get there? Will you remain the same, or will you finally take the first step? Today is not about perfection. It is not about changing your entire life. It is about proving to yourself that you are capable of starting. Because every incredible transformation story, every inspiring success, every healthy and confident person started exactly where you are right now, with fear, with doubts, with uncertainty, but they started anyway, and maybe, years from now, you will look back at this very moment and smile, because this was the day everything changed. This is not day one of a challenge, this is day one of your new life.